I would love to talk about the thrill of killing and whether many of the special forces you've worked with either display sociopathic characteristics that allow them to commit such acts, righteously or otherwise. And I'm using sociopathic here on a clinical terms. Right. As you know what that is, it's antisocial tendencies, decreased, I guess, perceptions of remorse, empathy, and so on. But I would like to talk about the thrill of killing. I think that's something that everyone knows that the special forces do, but it's more implicit and no one really talks about it.
I don't see operators as sociopaths. I don't see them that way at all. Is that to say there aren't some of the dark triad traits that are common? Sure, there are. But when your job is killing and you're trained to kill, you're socialized to kill. And killing is not just your job, and it's not just a point of survival for surviving that encounter in the moment, but it's also about your team. It's also about the people around you. If I don't kill that guy over there, he might kill one of my guys over here. And then you have a habituation to killing, and you have a thrill of killing. And so this is something that we don't talk about in polite society. We don't talk about in America. Soldiers across generations have fought and killed in different ways. We now kill people, traditional, armies marching across fields at each other. You had, maybe cannon in the back, firing cannonball, firing artillery, and killing people at a great distance. You have rifles and lines of people with muskets or machine guns firing across a field, killing at somewhat of a distance. Nowadays, we have drone operators who are sitting in very safe, sheltered bunkers in, wherever, in the U.S., Wyoming, Montana, Texas, wherever they are, playing video games, but killing people on the other side of the world, via drones and unmanned things. So we've changed killing quite a bit. But one of the other realities of special operations is operators are usually not killing at a great distance. They're usually up close. So, urban combat, you go into a house as a team and you clear the house, and you have to make split-second decisions of anybody you see. Are they an enemy combatant? Are they a hostage? Are they a civilian? Do I shoot or do I hold my fire? This is a very complex puzzle. Literally, it's like doing a complex puzzle. The flow of how you move through rooms, who takes which corner and which vector. This takes a lot of cognitive flexibility and problem solving, and it takes a lot of training, this kind of combat. One thing people don't understand about special operations is the sheer amount of deployment time overseas, the operational tempo. During hot periods of the war, you had platoons and units that were going out on missions every night, like nightly. And sometimes going out, hitting a target, coming back, processing the intel, and having that as a lead to run out and do another mission that same night. I don't ever ask people how many men have you killed? But I do know that in many cases, it's literally in the hundreds for an individual. And much of that was done was up close in a room or on a compound, using a rifle or a hatchet or a knife or a lead pipe. So one of the things that nobody wants to admit is there is a certain thrill in killing that many guys learned. I've had guys tell me, and it's there's both a missing of the thrill and a shame that it was a thrill. Guys that trust you will sometimes tell you, not only did I kill a lot of people, but I liked it and I miss it. It was exhilarating. And sometimes, I've had guys say, the more personal it was, the more exhilarating. To kill a guy with your bare hands and have their blood on you, there's something just incredible about that. Not that they do that at home, not that they are planning to do it, but it's like a shameful secret that they hold. I want to go to a Hemingway quote from my book, if I may. And this is from 1936 short story Hemingway wrote titled On the Blue Water. And Hemingway wrote, quote, "There is no hunting like the hunting of a man. And those who have hunted armed men long enough and liked it never care for anything else thereafter." That is a beautiful representation of a secret reality that only operators and a small number of people have awareness of.
I had a former CIA spy, covert operator, Andrew Bustamante, and he also talked about the thrill. But he attributed to his hardware psychologically that allowed him to immune from losing sleep over it, like dismembering of the cells in these violent ways that public can't even perceive as. You said something in passing. You said learned thrill. Are you saying that these are their natural temperament that God cultivated and heightened, or are these learned behaviors?
I think the thrill becomes learned. And I think one is you do it and you're like, wow, once you've had your first kill, your second kill, there comes a point where, most people will say the first kill is very impactful, the second one less so. We know about the process of habituation. We habituate to things that are scary. We habituate. You spend enough time hanging around spiders and snakes, after a while, they become less scary to you. They affect you less. And killing becomes very natural and even routine for many people, many operators. And that actually gives them a huge edge in combat. They're not anxious. They're prepared. Everything slows down for them in that moment. Whereas for the opponent that doesn't have that habituation is going to be far more physiologically aroused. I'll give a very striking example of this that a guy, one of my early conversations, shared with me. He was saying, when we walked on target, we were calm, we were cool, we were comfortable, we were not aroused. We had the best intel. We knew more than the other guys did. We had the best weapons. We had the best training. And that meant not only with our individual weapons, but also as a team, as a group. So we functioned, seamlessly. And you see this in the movies, a team of operators, 6 or 7 of them go into a house in a row. So there's that stack of operators, and one peels left, one peels in behind him, the other peels right. And somehow they just flow seamlessly. It's like synchronized swimming in the Olympics. That takes a lot of practice. But it's also why our soldiers have so much confidence when they're in those situations. So here's the anecdote I was going to share. He's standing on the side of a door, teammate on the other side of the door of a room or a compound. Somebody inside the room, one of their high value targets, is shooting a machine gun, some kind of belt fed, through the doorway. And they're on either side of the door, just standing there waiting for that belt to run out. So they're just calmly, they're even making little jokes to each other and hand signals. One of them signals, "Hey, do you have some dip? Some smokeless tobacco?" So the other guy gets his tobacco out. He throws it in an arc over the door. The guy catches it, puts some in his lip, closes it back up, arcs it back over the door, and they're just smiling at each other, waiting patiently and calmly. And when the gun from the inside, stops firing, they then go and do what they need to do. That type of advantage, and they recognize it as an advantage, is an incredible physiological advantage in moments of extreme danger and unpredictability.